In the area of spending, obviously what's going on up there is dangerous for our future, and people understand that our children and grandchildren will not have that same level of opportunity in this land that we inherited from past generations, because they're going to be loaded with this debt. Tripling the debt in 5 years, doubling it in 5, tripling it in 10. The spending just on an annual basis is tripled as far as the deficit spending. And people know that with all these bailouts of auto companies, which is wrong, and the bailouts of crony capitalism that is going on, that somebody's going to have to pay this. And folks understand that this debt has to be paid, and a lot of it's to foreign countries, including China. And it's going to be inflated. We'll have a weaker currency. We'll end up with higher interest rates and a lower quality of life in our country. And that's why cutting spending, stopping spending is so essential. In this healthcare area, not only is it spending, but they're dictates. There's no right of the government to tell people who they ought to contract with. That's absolutely wrong. That's the sort of things that Jefferson and Patrick Henry and Benjamin Franklin and Sam Adams were fighting against the monarchical elitists back then. We have them back again in Washington trying to tell us what to do, and we say no. We want our freedom, and don't tread on me. That's our battle flag of free people and free enterprise. The area of energy. Energy is the lifeblood of our society. It is something that folks understand at their kitchen table. Here you have these sanctimonious social engineers, again, trying to jack up or have skyrocketing, is their term, electricity prices. My friends, the United States has the energy resources under our land and under our water. We have more than any other country in the world, more than Russia, more than Saudi Arabia, with our plentiful coal, oil, and natural gas. Every other country would look at that as a blessing. But the sanctimonious social engineers look at it as a hazard. And we have the creative resources in our country. What has been missing is the political leadership to unleash those resources. The American people are sick and tired of continuing to be vulnerable and jerked around by hostile dictators, oligarchs, and cartels. We want our own energy, freedom, and independence. Unleash those resources for Americans. Now, folks, you not only have the cap and tax scheme, you have EPA, unelected bureaucrats trying to say that carbon dioxide endangers us. Facts. 96% of the carbon dioxide in our atmosphere naturally occurs. It mostly comes from the ocean. Only 4% comes from human activity. Indeed, carbon dioxide forms the basis of all animal, plant, and human life here on Earth. It helps plants grow. And here, again, the sanctimonious social engineers say that 50 years from now, if we put all these draconian costs on electricity and food and clothes and fuel, that the temperature of the Earth 50 years from now will be a fraction of 1 degree less than it is now. My goodness, they can't forecast the weather accurately 10 days from now. And then on top of it all, no other country, the Europeans may do it, but China, Brazil, India, Russia, none of those countries are going to impose that on their country. So it's, in effect, economic unilateral disarmament. And so that's why when Tim Phillips was talking about the UN Climate Control Conference in Copenhagen, and now they're going to have their subsequent one now in Mexico City right after the elections, what they're trying to do, these folks in the United Nations, is to lasso or rope the U.S. into this climate control scheme and have a transfer of wealth out of the United States to other countries. Now, the other countries, fat chance anybody's going to enforce any of this nonsense in Russia or in China or any of these other countries. And so that what's at stake is not just our economy, our jobs, our competitiveness, our balance of trade, and indeed our national security. Fundamentally, what's at stake is our sovereignty, our freedom as American citizens, and it's absolutely essential that we save and protect our sovereignty as Americans. So my friends, thank you for being here for this wonderful, wonderful celebration of representative democracy here in Mr. Jefferson's capital, in the cradle of American freedom, showing America the right way to go. But most of all, what is the most heartening is the encouragement that you see about the future of our country when folks like you and your friends and your neighbors this past year didn't say weren't going to say, well, gosh, it's a new day. We're going to have to accept the change that is coming from the lords in Washington. We're going to have to listen to whatever they want to do. People said this is our country. It's our country, our values, our principles, our future, our hopes, and our aspirations. And Americans for Prosperity is an organization that is in the tradition of those patriots, those who overthrew the British monarchy, who are not going to be told what to do, what to think. We're free people. We have God-given rights, freedom of religion, freedom of expression for men and women, private ownership of property, and the rule of law, where our rights, our God-given rights, are protected and fairly adjudicated. Those are the basic principles of our country. And representative democracy does not run on automatic pilot. It takes and needs an informed and educated citizenry, the people, the owners of the government. And so I thank and salute Americans for Prosperity, and I mostly salute and commend each and every one of you here, and literally tens of thousands across Virginia and hundreds of thousands, indeed millions, in every state of our union, who are doing as patriots did in the past. No matter the challenge, no matter what we were confronting, they always chose to unflinchingly stand strong for freedom. Thank you all, and may God continue to bless people with folks of your integrity, fire, and character. Thank you all.